Now, my mother being a mathematician too, she was glad that I came around to seeing mathematics as my subject. And being from India, she told me when I was a child the story of one of the great national heroes of India, Srinivasa Ramanujan. Ramanujan was born in poverty, and without a formal college education, he pursued his passion for mathematics. And he pursued it as an art form, which made him a hero to me as well. He went on, despite his poverty and his lack of education, he went on to revolutionize mathematics, leaving us with hundreds of beautiful formulas that we're still trying to understand today. I still spend some of my time looking at his notebooks, trying to decipher further lines from his notebooks. As a child, Ramanujan had discovered trigonometry on his own and was kind of disappointed later on when he saw that people already knew it in school. And that's something that happened to him many times over his life. In the 1990s, the author Robert Kanigel wrote a best-selling biography of Ramanujan. And I was truly inspired by the story. It had everything. It had a person who overcame seemingly insurmountable odds to pursue their passion and leave a lasting impact on the world. It had a testing romance. It had personal tensions with his English collaborator and friend. India was under English colonial rule at the time when Ramanujan was in India. So it had everything. It had triumph, it had heartbreak, it had glory, tragedy, and much, much more. This was an amazing story. And I remember being immensely inspired by the story, both at a personal level, his mathematics and his dedication to his art, but also at a global level, and as an educator. His story highlighted the importance of universal education. Education from all people, from the smallest villages to the big cities, so that no talent in the world would be left behind. So I thought his story has to be brought to the screen, the big screen, as a film. But I also thought, well, I'm not a filmmaker, I'm just a mathematician. And so that was just a dream. A decade went by, I became a professional mathematician, working in much the same area as Ramanujan. And I enjoyed it immensely. I'd forgotten about those earlier dreams of filmmaking, and then I got a call. It was from a Hollywood scriptwriter who wanted to write a script about Ramanujan. He said he had heard about my interest in writing and the liberal arts, and of course my interest in the mathematical work of Ramanujan. Would I be willing to help with the script? Of course, I said yes. That was one of my childhood dreams. It would be an honor. I worked on that for a couple of years, but unfortunately that movie never came to be. That happens. You see, there are some difficulties in Hollywood in having such a story. First of all, having a non-white lead actor, that was strike one. The fact that he was a mathematician, that was strike two. But strike three was kind of interesting. The mathematician in question was an actual real person, not the usual caricature of a mathematician. That is, he wasn't socially awkward, largely mad, scribbling formulas like a robot. And that ironically made it even a harder sell. It's very tough to overcome stereotypes in Hollywood. That's what I learned. It was very hard to convince investors, who in turn claimed that it would be hard to convince audiences that a mathematician could also be a very normal and pleasant person. In addition, and in order to compensate for him being Indian as the lead actor, at least a couple of iterations of the script had investors offering funding for the film if we could kindly agree to have Ramanujan have an affair with a white nurse. This way they could suitably cast an English actress and have a lead white character that way. For reasons of accuracy and authenticity, we decided to decline those offers, but persevered with the true story, which we believed was going to be much more inspiring, much more surprising, actually, than the fake ones. Well, it took 3 directors and another decade before that happened. But the film, The Man Who Knew Infinity, finally became a reality just a few months ago.